Welcome to this presentation on Interzinc 52E, our newest zinc-rich epoxy primer at International AkzoNobel. My name is Richard Milgate. I'm the Global Product Manager for Interzinc 52E, as well as some other products on our heavy-duty anti-corrosive range. We'll start off with a bit of background. International launched the Global Core range in 1995, and Interzinc 52 was included in that range. It's got 80% zinc content. It's organic, zinc rich as per ISO 12944. It's based on epoxy and polyamide technology, and Interzinc 52 has been the most widely used organic zinc rich primer in the world. And we've got over 20 years of global track record to back that up. An example there on the right hand side. Just a bit more recap on Interzinc 52. We've sold over 70 million litres globally, which is equivalent to about 400 million square metres of steel. And we've used that in all markets, oil and gas, infrastructure, mining, power and so on. Got a great track record of excellent corrosion performance, and the application properties of Interzinc 52E have always been considered very good. So the challenge to us at AkzoNobel International has been, how can we upgrade our offer? Looking to improve things like volume solids, drying times, overcoating times, and VOC. Feedback from our applicators has been it's really important to maintain the excellent application properties of Interzinc 52. So, Interzinc 52E, what are the key features? Well, we've maintained the excellent application properties, but at the same time we've improved productivity and we've maintained the excellent anti-corrosive performance. So a bit more on Interzinc 52E. It's a two-component, high solids, fast-drying, rapid recoat zinc-rich epoxy primer. 80% zinc dust in the dry film, as I mentioned earlier. That's compliant to the zinc-rich requirements of ISO 12944 and also to SSPC Paint 20 Level 2 Type 2, which requires 77% zinc or greater. It's 65% volume solids, 300 grams a litre VOC. We've got a great improvement on the fastness of the resin, new resins there to help along, and the high performance that we've been used to with Interzinc 52. On the right hand side here we've got some steel that's been freshly sprayed with Interzinc 52E. So moving on to anti-corrosive performance. We've done a lot of internal testing on Interzinc 52E prior to release, a lot of ISO 12944 testing, Norsoc testing, salt spray testing, and also a couple of years of exposure at a port in the UK. So from all of that, we've determined that Interzinc 52E has the equivalent anti-corrosive performance of Interzinc 52. On the right hand side we've got some panels showing some of that testing, scribe testing, pull-off adhesion, and various other tests. So now for a bit more on cyclic aging testing. We've tested internally and at a third-party test house. It's a cyclic aging test, as I mentioned previously, and that is a combination of UV exposure, wet conditions, followed by salt spray, followed by low temperature conditions. Now, depending on the severity of the environment that you want to use your product for, you need to do more cycles. So for example, a C5 very high durability system would be 16 cycles, and that's specified in ISO 12944. For a CX environment, that's 25 cycles for offshore use there. Just to clear up any questions that might get asked, the ISO 20340 is now part of ISO 12944 in a new part 9. The requirements for CX are also the requirements for Norsoc M501 System 1. So if you see either being requested, they are interchangeable. If you want to learn anything more about ISO 12944, the types of testing required and so on, we do have a brochure on that, which you can see in the top right hand corner there, and an excerpt on the testing is below in the lower right hand corner. Some more external testing now. As you can see on the slide here, we've done testing in C5 high durability and C5 very high durability. So going back to the last slide, that affects the number of cycles we've had to test with. Looking at systems there with Interzinc 52E, Interguard 4758HS as the mid coat and Interthane 990 as the top coat. The global testing is ongoing to deliver more systems, but the key takeaway is Interzinc 52E provides the same reliable anti-corrosive performance as Interzinc 52, and that is done via galvanic protection. Here's some more test certificates we've got. You can see on the left we've got an Interzinc 52E, Interguard 4758HS and Interthane 990 system for C5 high, and on the right hand side we've got Interzinc 52E followed by Interguard 4758HS followed by Interthane 990 for C5 very high. Moving on to the product attributes. Comparing Interzinc 52 with 52E now, volume solids have increased by 6% and relatively 10%. So that means for every square metre of steel, 10% less literage of paint is required. VOC is down by about 10%. And where the product really shines is in its reduction in time to paint again and for time to go hard. So we've got a range of data here at 25 degrees. We can see touch dries down by an hour, hard dries down by 2.5 hours, minimum recoat also down by 2 hours, and at 5 degrees the difference is even more pronounced. So we've gone from a minimum of 8 hours recoat to 3 hours recoat, and that's a saving of 5 degrees. So in cooler parts of the world and in cooler months elsewhere, that's quite a big saving. One slight drawback is that the pot life, particularly at high temperatures, has been reduced from 5 hours to 75 minutes at 25 degrees. Still a workable amount of time. At 40 degrees, the pot life's a bit shorter again. We found in trials that if you can have all your steel ready, there's plenty of time to paint it all. And I've got some more of that on the next slide. A bit more on the pot life and productivity. So as we've said, there's a big improvement in the productivity with this new product. So if we look at 5 degrees, for example, we've saved 5 hours, and the savings continue the warmer it gets. Pot life, we've still got plenty of pot life down when it's quite cool, 5 degrees, 10 degrees, no problems. I think probably about 30 degrees, some care needs to be taken. 30 minutes is obviously plenty of time to spray out 10 litres of paint if the steel's all ready, but if the steel's not ready, the clock sort of ticks. So the recommendation there to all customers is please have all your steel ready before you mix up a full kit, so you don't get caught with the shorter pot life. A bit on the competitive landscape here. We've benchmarked Interzinc 52E against 52 and also some competitor products. So really pleased to see the minimum recoat drop down from 6 hours to 2 hours, and that's put us in line with a lot of our competitors there, and better than a couple. Moving on at 25 degrees again, there we've seen a massive reduction in our minimum overcoat time, which has put us sort of close to the market lead there. Now just a thing to highlight as well, Interzinc 52 still got that great finish and application properties. So we haven't commented on other application properties here, but we believe the shorter overcoat times combined with the great application makes it a really compelling offer. Moving on to a couple of customer trials. We've done trials all over the world, UK, Sweden, Italy, Germany, Middle East and some in Australia. At the time of presenting, this product was fully released in Europe. So I've done work in the field between 20 and 50 degrees and obviously more work ongoing. So the feedback we've got from these trials has been consistent. The spray properties and finish is just as good as Interzinc 52 and customers have been pleased with the increased productivity. Another trial in Australia that I attended, we did that at 34 degrees. It's quite warm in Cairns all the time, really. Despite the shorter pot life, the manager was very pleased with the shorter drying time, and from his point of view, he could easily spray the steel in time. So we saw there, came back the next day, no drips at 229 dry film. Obviously that's a bit excessive for normal use, but it demonstrates that the product is tolerant to over application. Had a really good spray fan with a 60:1 airless there. No need for thinner to get a nice spray fan. And then we've got some photos here on the right of some freshly applied paint. Now in this experience we used no thinner, as I mentioned. A couple of percent thinner may ease it and may increase application properties slightly, but certainly there's no requirement for that. Some feedback from the UK as well. Manager there was very pleased. He was expecting some problems with solvent entrapment and adhesion based on the really quick recoat time. But we put Intercure 200 over it, no problems. Came back the next day, it was all very solid. Good adhesion, couldn't scrape any off with the penknife there. So yeah, we've been very pleased. Moving on to supply. As I mentioned, Interzinc 52E has already been rolled out in Europe, and that rollout will continue throughout the globe in 2020. Standard pack sizing is a 10-litre kit in the metric world, or a 3 US gallon kit in the imperial world. Smaller packs will be available in some regions. Please get in contact with your local sales rep for more details. Our metric packs will be supplied in grey, as they have been for the previous product, and imperial packs will be supplied in green, as per the previous product. Just an update on what literature we've got available today. We've got our standard data sheet available, a brochure in 2 pages, both in English and Chinese. Performance testing data is available. New documents will appear on our webpage as usual under Interzinc 52E, and we've also got this presentation that you're listening to now. So time to wrap up now. So why use Interzinc 52E? Well, it's built on the Interzinc 52 track record of greater than 20 years and 400 million square metres of steel. The application properties remain excellent, as does the product finish, with no pinholing seen in second coats. Most importantly, I think the improved productivity is the real game changer here. Big time savings to be had, low temperatures, mid temperatures, and much faster overcoating, so you can get your steel much more quickly through the yard. So thanks for taking the time to listen to this presentation. If you've got any questions, please get in touch with your local sales rep. Thank you and goodbye.